right, so how y'all doing? I just wanted to start off with, one of the goats of hip hop, Tupac, White Man's World. The introduction goes hand in hand with what I'm going to be talking about. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Antoine Baldon. I am a high school educator, in the field of social studies. I teach civics, U.S. history, and I have a collab class with one of my coworkers, African American studies. So let me get back to the quote, how I started out, why I started with Tupac. So the song is talking about, it's people don't know how hard it is to be a black woman, black woman specific, and that's one my problem that I want to talk about and shed some light on, because it's not really talked about that much in our field of education, is black girls being pushed out, misunderstood, and then excluded in education. So what does that mean? That means as far as discipline, they don't feel welcomed in schools. They're not included with everything, with the success, or you don't see a lot of activities that's really for specifically black girls in high school. It's a lot of things that contribute to that problem, and that's what I'm going to be discussing. Now, I know everybody's thinking, all right, it's a black guy. Why is he worried about talking about this problem? The problem, it's because it's nobody else's, So, especially with a lot of things that's going on right now. So, the killings of black males in America, that gets the forefront. But there's women who go through it, and it's not like I'm comparing all right, our suffering is worse than black girls suffering, but I just wanted to shed light on this problem, just because I have countless cousins, and I have a sister that have went through this or are still going through this, but it's so normalized, that it's not spoken on. So why, my biggest why for this is I was my first year teaching. We was in ISAP, in school suspension, and me and my coworkers started this group. It's called Vikings of Valor. Started this group, and it's basically we took the high flyers of the the kids that always in trouble and just never seem to be doing the right thing. We took them and created a group, and it was going to be a men equality, women equality, a black student union and BSU type thing. And this is we first started talking about it. So we had been running this group, and we was unprepared. Me and my coworkers didn't really know what we were getting into, and then we was just trying to stay afloat, trying to hold them accountable and teach them how to be successful in school, and that they don't have to basically they have to fit in, to be successful, and that was a problem in itself. But we're talking about kicking people out because they're not getting with the program, and we're talking about we came up with a point system. All right, if they get this amount of points, they gotta be out the group. So we was talking, we discussing, and we coming up with the groundwork on how the point system was going to work. And one of most of our students, they was in school suspension, so they overhearing us talk. And then one girl was there, and they said one of my coworkers said, "Do y'all think that she's gonna make it?" And excuse me, and he was like, "Nah, I don't think she's gonna make it." And it wasn't in the sense of he's just counting her all the way out. It's similar to how a coach, doubts a players, use reverse psychology so they can get it going. And he was a coach, so he was trying to use that. And her response really stuck with me, because what she said made me feel bad, felt terrible. And she was that's okay. I'm used to people counting me out. People have been counting me out all my life. People have been saying I'm not gonna amount to nothing. Nobody believes in me. Nobody in this building really cares about me. Like nobody. I'm used to it. That's why I'm gonna do me and I'm gonna make it regardless. So even if I'm in trouble, I'm still gonna make it. And like she said it with so much passion, like you can tell like she was holding back tears because she was so frustrated because she thought that we was counting her out. And like we didn't believe in her that she can make the change and everything. So like I felt terrible. I was like, man, how can she's only 16, 15, 16 at the time. How's a girl that young already experienced that? So that was like one of my biggest things that like it lit a fire in me. So I've always been, a big relationship type guy, especially you have to be in education if you want to have successful, classroom management skills and everything. You have to build relationships. And I think that's like one of the biggest things that our school district was pushing this past year, and they never really showed us how. They told us why, and but some, especially educators, that's one of the things you need. If you show us, how to do it, we'll implement it. So that's my why. And then I don't ever want no student, especially a black girl, to feel like nobody's rooting for him, nobody's with him. So like that changed my whole way of approaching building relationships. I want them to know that I'm rooting for them. I tell my students all the time, even if I'm like you have a bad day, I'm still gonna be rooting for you. I'm not gonna hold grudges. So that's my why. And as a black black male, I never really understood what black girls could be going through. Like I was an athlete in high school. I never really had a problem with my teachers. I was a likable person in the building. Everybody knew my name, and like I handled business. And every time, like I never got in trouble. So like everybody, I was a likable guy. So my teachers treated me like differently. But like I know like one of my good friends, and so we're still friends to this day. She like was the same way, but she was very passionate, on certain topics, and people misunderstood that for like just being like an angry black girl. And that's when all those stereotypes kept, popping up. And I was just like, well, that's just how society is, and like that's I was like, it is what it is. And it came to find out, like doing research, trying to figure out like why the black girls are pushed out, misunderstood, and excluded in education. The numbers start suggesting it, that it's a system thing, and that's one of the reasons why I chose this problem to try to find solutions to it. Like for example, let's throw out some numbers. Black girls are disciplined or suspended more at a higher rate than like black males. When everybody thinks about diversity, they always think about black boys or black males. And then when it comes about gender diversity or something like that, it's white girls in school. So the black girls are pushed out on two different fronts: gender and ethnicity and race. So like that's big problem. So everybody thinks about like, oh, black boys are suspended or disciplined twice as much as their white counterparts, but nobody's talking about how the number is alarming for the black girls. They're written up and they suspended at a rate 6 to 1, and that's like very alarming. You wouldn't think that just because like nobody's talking about it. I'm an educator, and I didn't even know that until like I started digging deep into this topic. And that's not, that shouldn't be like a normal thing. And when I first thought about my problem, I was like, what's going into this? And the things that I came up with, I found was punitive discipline, the stereotypes that society has placed among like black girls, black women in general. So like the stereotypes, when girls are very passionate, you know, black girls are very, very passionate, people mistake it for them being angry. Or it's because everybody knows it. It's because everybody has a stereotypical, oh, who you talking to? Like, that's just the way they talk. Because you talk with your hands, because you're passionate. Like, if you even, like, for example, Obama, he talks, like, with his hands. But just because he's talking calmly, they think that, all right, it's more acceptable. You know, like culture. They're like, black girls aren't like getting in trouble for like dress code. Most dress codes never cater to the black culture, especially the black culture of the girls. Like wearing scarves or, you know, wearing jeans, certain type of jeans, because they think of it as a distraction when it shouldn't really be a distraction. It's them being themselves. If it doesn't really concern like their education, if they're not like wearing jeans, I've never heard like wearing jeans like I didn't get an A on that test because I had some black baggy jeans on, or I got an A on that test because I had some skin tight jeans on. So that's basically one of the things that they go through, the stereotypical norms, you know, and details that they are placed upon them. The numbers are alarming. So that's my biggest thing is trying to fix this problem. And if you watch the rest of the videos in this series, my next video will talk about more in depth about the problem and the statistics on this problem, the history of black girls. Then I'll have a video about the implementation and the results that I did with when I figured this information out for the research purposes. And then like my last video would be like what can be done in the future to like, you know, help this problem. So like everybody contributes to those numbers. Just like as far as I saying is education, like black girls being pushed out. Like every educator, even if you have like I have good relationships with black girls in my classroom, but everybody's contributing to it so that we can also be the solution. So we're part of the problem, but we can also be part of the solution. And after watching this video, you should be able to be put up on game and about the problem, what can be done about the problem, how I attempted to fix the problem in my school on a micro level, the results, and how we can really empower black girls to be unapologetically themselves and thrive and be successful in the school setting and education. We don't want them to feel pushed out.